Shehu Gusau and Tonobok Okowa have emerged as presidents of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria in separate elections held in Kebbi State and Abuja respectively on Monday. The AFN had been engulfed in a leadership crisis since 2019, with Olamide George, the body's vice president, leading a faction, while Gusau, who was voted as the AFN president back in 2017 in Abuja, led a faction and declared autonomy from the Ministry of Sports after a congress in Agulu, Anambra State. In 2019, both factions revolved reconciliatory moves by the World Athletics and the Confederation of African Athletics and went ahead to elect their board members in separate polls. In Monday's election held in Jambali, Benin Kebbi, Gusau was re-elected after scoring 20 votes to defeat Uche Nukoma, who had 2 votes. Now, joining us to dissect the issue surrounding the Athletics Federation of Nigeria is one of the presidents, talking about Shehu Gusau, who is in our Abuja studios to talk to us today. I want to say a big thank you to you today for joining us on Newsday. Now, we'll start it off. First of all, I don't know whether to say congratulations to you for re-emerging again. But as it stands right now, how do you feel knowing that while you were being elected in Benin Kebbi, another election was happening in Abuja?
Thank you very much. I think I need to make a point of correction, not one of the presidents, but the president.
All right, duly noted. You can go ahead, sir.
Good. Thank you very much. Indeed, we held our Congress, and it was very well attended, and I emerged. There was a contest, and I emerged with my other colleagues who were elected on the same day, the first vice president and the second vice president. So there was a duly election held, a duly congregated Congress held, and election was held, and then winners declared.
All right, we're seeing pictures from that particular election, but I'm sure you are aware that a parallel election was holding at the same time yours was holding in Abuja with Tonobok Okowa going unopposed. You haven't addressed that. How would you characterize that particular election?
I think some group of friends gathered to have a field day in Abuja. You wouldn't call that an election. You see, there is a process that leads to an election, and there is a body or an individual that has the power to congregate an election and to call off a Congress. We have statutes, if you like, constitutions are there. The AFN Constitution, the CAA Constitution, the World Athletics Constitution does not give powers to anybody to just call for a Congress. I'm not sure who called the Abuja Congress. I hear the ministry called for a Congress. The ministry does not have powers to call for a Congress. Only the president of the federation, whether he's running in an election or he's not running in an election. And I can tell you, this election was called, 2 venues were slated for the 2020 and the 2021 Congresses. The Oka Congress ratified. Propositions were done, biddings were made by the host cities. The 2020 Congress was held for the COVID-19 restriction. It should have held in Asaba. And then the 2021 elective Congress was bidded and hosted in Kebbi State. So that held in Kebbi State. This is a 2 years ago affair, not even a yesterday's affair. But then some people felt they can gather themselves in Abuja and say there is a solo election. You know, people didn't even start in an election, unopposed. So where does that happen? I can tell you, we have statutes, we have a constitution, and it is very clear in the constitution, the procedures are there. Only a president calls for Congress. And mind you, even Olamide George was not even at their Congress. So I don't even know who called for that, who chaired the Congress. There should be a chairman. Ordinarily, it has to be the president of the federation. Except if I donate my powers to any other person. And I didn't do that.
Okay,
so for me,
to say this
people
because we know that Olamide George certainly congratulated you, or I mean, certainly acknowledged your own Congress and acknowledged your own election, although he failed to congratulate you on that.
He did.
Yeah, but now the question is this. For the sake of the athletes, can we find a lasting solution to this problem that is bedeviling the Athletics Federation of Nigeria?
I agree with you totally. Let me take you back. You know, I'm sure you are very well aware about what a federation is. A federation is an association. It's a group of people that feel they want to promote a certain ideology and they have interest. Let me put you in this example. Just supposing you have a group of people who feel they want to have a clean environment and they put themselves together to say, we want to have an association of Nigeria has to be very clean. And then we bring ourselves together and then form an executive to promote that. So the Ministry of Environment will say, no, you have to be under us. It's not like that. Internationally, every international federation is a statute, is an independent body. And that's all we are trying to say at the federation. The federation has refused to grow because of this strangulation. Now, coming back to athletes, it is my key. Let me tell you, I've been a sport administrator, I think, for the last 30 years. 30 years ago, my team, you can go and do your research, played Challenge Cup final in Sokoto. I expanded from the football and went into other sports. If I can have a team that plays for a Challenge Cup, that means it didn't start that year. You would have built a team to get it to that level. So I have a lot of interest in sports, in athletes, and I promote athletes. With all humility, I know what I've done personally to athletes' welfare.
Because of time. Because of time, I want to find out.
Yes, no, I need to make. I need to make this point to you. These are two court judgments from the Federal High Court and the appeal courts. These are subsisting judgments that have stated clearly. I need to read this last point for you. It says, point number 8, order of the court says, an order of perpetual injunction is hereby made, restraining the defendants. The defendants are Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport, and 2 others. It says it is restraining them from taking any further action, steps that undermines the powers of the plaintiff under the Constitution of the AFN as the President, including the power to convey the Congress of the AFN. It's a judgment.
All right, but before we go, because we have less than 2 more minutes to go, I just want to find out from you, who takes the athletes to the Olympics in July? Is it your own? No, is it your own board or the ministry?
You see, the ministry. You see, lists come from the federation. Any international engagement, naturally, because they wear the green, white, green, we hand over to the government, and this is where we feel there should be a symbiotic working relationship.
True.
The lists, the best candidates, the best athletes are put together by the federation and handed over. But of course, when you get to the Olympics, you know that the recognition is there for the federation, not for the countries. Of course, countries' ministers are recognized when they come, but believe you me, it's a ceremonial recognition. The main recognition is on the federation head.
All right, finally, before just in 30 seconds or less, please do us a favor. What's your message to the athletes out there who are seeing these things play out and are a little bit confused on what is going on right now?
You see, first of all, I want to call on the Honorable Minister to respect court judgments. You cannot, I expect this from a market person, somebody in the market not obeying court order, and then maybe the police and other agencies has to make him obey court order. But you cannot sit as a Honorable Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and disregard court judgment. What are you portraying the president? What are you portraying for the government? You see, an appeal to the Supreme Court, I'm not a lawyer, but I think I'm well learned to understand that. An appeal to the Supreme Court does not guarantee a vacation of the court judgment. It is a subsisting judgment, and until another judgment is gotten, this judgment subsists. And these are concurrent judgments from the Court of Appeal and the Federal High Court. It has confirmed the veracity and validity of our board. And people feel they can just go call a meeting and say this is the result. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, coming back to athletes, before now, my forecast was Athletics Federation of Nigeria and athletics will try to see in this Olympics where we are heading, will get about 3 gold medals. It has never happened before. The total number of medals since Nigeria started attending Olympics has been 3 medals, 2 in one Olympics and one in another Olympic. But my target for this Olympic was to have 3 gold medals in this Olympic, but supposing everything works well. And I pray very much Nigeria makes it, is my passion. And we have passionate board members and passionate sport lovers. Is our passion for athletics to be up there, and Nigeria will be up there.
I want to say many thanks to you today for availing us with your presence, and we wish you and the Athletics Federation of Nigeria all the best.